Sandie Blanchet. Thank you for accepting this interview. Now, first of all, I wanted to ask you, during all your time here in Romania, what are the major problems that you've seen with the way children are treated and the fact that there is still a great deal of poverty? There was recently, about a couple of years ago, I think, there was a study you did that showed that nearly half the population, half the children in Romania are in risk of poverty and social exclusion. How do we stand in this?
The situation of children in Romania is contrasted. We have children who are doing very well, mostly in urban areas, children from middle class or upper class families. And then we have children, some of them who are very disadvantaged. And we find them particularly in villages, in Roma families, in poor families as well. And there are also children with disabilities. So when we work here in Romania, we work for all children because all children have rights, but we focus a lot to make sure that the most vulnerable ones have the same opportunities than the rest of the children. In terms of poverty, we have seen some progress in the past 2 years. So there are encouraging signs that poverty is declining among children. But unfortunately, Romania remains the country with the highest rate of children at risk of poverty and social exclusion, according to Eurostat. And that's still about half of them. It used to be a bit more than half, now it's a bit less than half. In terms of education, we also see some progress. There is this big international survey called PISA, and we saw that the children in Romania are doing a bit better in terms of reading, writing, and science and mathematics. But still, we have about 40% of them at the age of 15 who can barely write and read and count. And so that means that these are children and young people who are going to struggle a lot when they get to the labor market, because they will be competing with other European young people who are very educated. In terms of access to healthcare, we see that there is still a lot of investment in hospitals, but not enough on primary healthcare at the local level. So we meet children when we go to visit villages, for example. We meet babies and children who have never seen a doctor, who are not vaccinated. And unfortunately, what happens is that they get sick, and because there is no healthcare at the local level, they get so sick that they end up in the emergency room. And we have 25% of Romanian children who spend 1 week or more in a hospital every year. That is a huge percentage. That's 1 million children who spend more than 1 week in the hospital every year. And that's very costly for the system. And that's not good for these children. It means that parents waited for too long. And we think that's because there is no healthcare at the local level.
There is a trend amongst parents. I don't know if it has to do with their beliefs or with the fact that they don't know anything about healthcare, but they don't vaccinate their children.
Mm-hmm. What we have when it comes to parents and vaccines, we have two extremes, if you want. We have those families that are very poor and live in remote areas and do not have access to healthcare. And that's why their children are not vaccinated. These are invisible children. The healthcare is not looking for them, and so they stay out of the healthcare system. On the other end, what we have is families who are a bit more educated, who are not so poor, who have access to internet, who are more urban, and these families have this wrong information about vaccination, and so they refuse to vaccinate their children, thinking that it could be dangerous. So we really need campaigns to inform parents about the benefits of vaccination. The measles campaign in Romania has killed children, as it has in Germany or in the US. So there are diseases like this. We forget when children are vaccinated. We forget how dangerous they are because we don't have them anymore. Yeah. People are, we sometimes have a short-term memory, but we have to remember that measles, mumps, all these diseases, they still exist, and they're very dangerous to the point of killing children in some cases. So we need to inform parents and give them the right information. Family doctors need to be involved. Community nurses, where they exist, should be involved to inform parents. Respond to their questions, because again, I think parents do that out of love. They want to protect their children. Mm-hmm. It's just that they don't have the right information. And if we work together on this to inform the population, then I think we can solve this issue. But of course, vaccines have to be available as well.